their upper thoracic spine and getting neutrality in the neck. And people who are really tight in the upper back, they're not able to get that lift without straining the C7 joint. So we're going to go over that. I want to get from where we are into our flying monkey pose because that is one of my favorite positions for the C7. Not only for opening up the upper back, but for opening up the chest. So from here, after we had a nice rest, and this could be a great series for the upper back, we're going to let ourselves blossom out with our arms. So our arms go up and overhead. So the back of the swing is at the armpits. The hands reach for the front of the swing, and we can pull ourselves up, right? So we know how to transition into our floating Buddha there. Yep, lift your butt. Yep. There you go. So let's just take a moment to do our Chillaxin arms and notice that we're doing that same real strong lift and tractioning through the back of the neck, right? So we're just working. I like to use my palms on the sides and as I'm swaying back and forth, lifting and opening, and you'll really feel some space starting to open up for the C7 joint. You guys feel that? And how different it is than our normal practice where we're not emphasizing that part of the body? So this is just the difference between a normal aerial yoga play where we're just having them rest their head back into our hands, where we're really lifting and engaging and working there. Okay, bottoms of the feet together through swing bada. We can keep the leg loops spread out, no problem for this, or they can be bunched up. Leg loop spread out is just more restorative, so it's nice for people to have that. We're going to reach up as high as we can for the leg loops, not the swing, the leg loops. Thank you. Okay, reach up as high as you can. You can grab one side or both sides since it's bunched. From there, you can lean back. So feet together, knees open wide, stretch the front of the chest. Open up the arms. So this pose in particular, you can feel kind of like when we're in butterfly, how there's no strain on the lower back, even though it's such a big opening from the front of the body. Opening up the front of the body, especially the upper back, is really going to take pressure off the C7 joint. So even though the neck is kinked back, right, even though we're opening up the chest, there should be no pressure on the C7 joint because it is stretching all the way down the length of the arms. Beautiful. Exhale, release and sit down. Can you guys feel that relief for the C7 joint?
Yes.
That area? Okay. Just give me feedback if you're not feeling something so that I can give you a version. Okay. So from this pose, we're going to go right into our peaceful warrior. Well, let's do Namaste first. Pardon me. So Namaste does the same thing. We squeeze the legs together. We have our hands at prayer at our heart. Really important that they don't slide down to our rib cage. Up at our heart, and then our forearms are strongly holding our weight to stretch back. So amazing to get this kind of supported back bend so the upper thoracic spine is really emphasized. And that, in general, will continue to heal and release the C7 joint. Okay, from here we're going to hold on to the swing, moving through ladle. Ladle as well could be considered good for the upper back, but you can feel how the lower back is also getting released here. Bring the legs wide and around. Hook in front for our peaceful warrior. Make sure the swing is in the sweet spot. If you need to, spread it out a little or wiggle from side to side. But just make sure you feel like you can hang out here for a little while. We're not really using our leg loops in this one, so the leg loops can stay on, but they're not really working. Everybody knows how to adjust the swing across the hips to make it just right? Yes? Okay, peaceful warrior. We clasp our elbows and hang. There's no weight on the top of the head. If your head is hitting the ground, walk your arms forward so you're in a slight back bend. The head does not touch the ground in the peaceful warrior pose. We want there to be hang space, hang time for the neck. Clasping the elbows is our number one position. Number two position is, again, we're going to move on in a minute from all this holding on to the head business, but go ahead and Interlace the fingers behind the back of the neck. And one more time. Turning from side to side. Twisting and opening. Letting gravity loosen up that tightness that hangs out at that hub. 99% of the people I work on have massive and major congestion at the C7 joint, which is the pathway for the nerves down the arms into the hands. The other third position we can do is clasp our hands behind our back and pull straight down towards the ground so that it's squeezing and wringing out the tension between the shoulder blades, which will, of course, release the upper back and C7 joints. Okay? To come out, we're going to bring our legs wide and around, holding onto the swing. Head up, hips down. Come to sit. Woo! Good. Take a moment to just feel. So when I did this training in January, even though my teachers have been practicing for a really long time, they were having like profound body experiences because of all of this emphasis. So just know that this will be more intense, like even though it's much more therapeutic, it'll be more intense because your body is like getting that attention, and it's the emphasis and the intention that is actually changing the way that we're approaching the practice. Okay? So just know that's really common. Okay, so we're moving on. We're not going to do all of them in each one because we're going to repeat them. So upper back. Okay? So leg loops at the knees or ankles. We can do all of our upright postures that we learned 1 through 4 is good for the upper back, right? You can see any of the back bends, any of the poses where the swing is around the back of the heart and hooking towards the armpits. It's good for the upper back. Okay? So I'm just going to go through our supported back bends and Chillaxin and swagger and start with the emphasis on the upper back. Okay. So once we're here in our Chillaxin, we can swing from side to side. And then I want you guys to really emphasize pressing the back of the heart into the swing, Chillaxin arms. Right? And really feel the massaging that's happening throughout the rib cage and that stickiness behind the heart. We've done swagger and Chillaxin 100 times, but I want you to just really feel the upper back and what's happening here. So most people are going to benefit from releasing the tension in the neck and shoulders and upper back. It's pretty easy. Okay. So let's just go into our child's star pose and feel the undulation and what happens here. So we inhale for our T, exhale for child. So when we round the back, so the rhythm wave or the undulations, like the same as we do on the ground in yoga, is what really starts to pump the energy through the spine. So we round in here, and then we exhale and we squeeze, and we inhale and we expand and we arch. So long arms, long legs, right? Just feel what's happening in the spine. So we're moving up the front of the spine, and then we exhale and we're rounding in, and we're closing. And squeeze all the energy out. So inhale, expand. Exhale, squeeze. So the whole upper back, you can tell the lower back is benefiting too, but the whole upper back is starting to loosen up that stickiness in there. Let's come to our Namaste one more time. Squeeze the legs together, bring the hands to prayer. Okay. Lifting and arching, feel the upper thoracic spine, and then ladle. So when we come into our ladle position, this is kind of like our warm-up lap too. I want you to hold on to the swing at first. So hold on to the swing, squeeze the legs together, and I want you to lift your heart. Lift your heart and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And feel what happens in the upper thoracic spine. Now you can bring your hands down to the ground and overhead. So when the palms are up, we're really emphasizing the big stretch to the front of the belly. So if you let your hands press down and into the earth and press up into handstand arms. So this is the pose I wanted you to practice, Bob, so the legs, so hands are down, handstand hands. Handstand. So yeah, in this pose, this is where you can really press your hamstrings down towards, press up into a handstand, press your arms straight. Press, press, press. Yeah, and then press your legs down towards the ground, straight legs. Press them down. Yeah, so this part of the body engages. Straight legs, straight arms. Can you press up into a handstand?
No, I've got weak arms.
Walk your hands forward. They're too far back. Walk your hands here. Yeah, now press up. There you go. Elbows in. Yeah. And so in this pose, you're really pressing your legs down. Press your legs down towards the ground. Yeah. So you're engaging through this whole back of the body. That's it. So can you feel this part of the body starting to work? That's beautiful. Yeah. Okay, cool. Really nice, guys. So that's how you work the upper back in this pose, right? You can press up into a handstand from there. That's really good. All right, and then the last pose would be bow. And so in the bow pose, that's it. So hands right underneath the shoulders, raspberry. They're too wide, so walk them in. Right underneath the shoulders. So we always have to stack the bones, right? Stack the bones. That's it. And then the legs are engaged. So we're really pressing not just the feet, but the legs down towards the ground because we're keeping our legs straight. So if we don't press our legs down towards the ground, we overarch in our lower back. Okay? Yeah. That's it, Bob. You feel the leg engagement in that one?
Starting to.
Okay, good. And then I'll come into bow pose if you can do it for a little bit longer. Okay? So in our bow pose, the emphasis here is pulling the feet away from the heart. So just the opposite, raspberry. Straighten your arms and pull your feet away from your heart. Hold on. Okay? So when we pull our feet away, then we're squeezing our shoulder blades together, and you can see the heart starts to blossom a little bit more. So that arms are straight, pulling away is how we start to release the upper thoracic spine. Okay? So that's the emphasis in bow. Go ahead and come on down, come on up, hips down, head up, come to seat. Okay. Let's come through our sumo squat and feel the supported back bend here. Just to finish up nice and strong. So even doing what I've been teaching you guys, so sumo, with pressing the forearms in and lifting the sternum, but leaving the pubic bone back and down, just the upper back, that's how we start to rearrange and adjust the posture so that we have that lift through the upper thoracic and the sternum, which will take pressure off of the shoulders and the neck. Okay? So keep your hips dropping. Just the sternum lifts. And then press the legs straight. So all the sort of supported back bends are designed for the upper back. We start with the upright postures. So the same movement. So pulling strongly through the back of the neck so that the C7 joint and the whole cervical spine is getting some space, but then you can really feel this moving into the thoracic as we pull up and out through our hands, nice and strong, up and out. All right, so our head is on a diagonal to the top corner of the room. Most people collapse back in this pose, and it really is a lift that we're focusing on. Does that feel good?
Oh, yeah.
So good. And that changes everything. Most people are collapsing and just opening up their rib cage. We don't want to flare the ribs. We want to keep the whole torso nice and engaged so the heart has an opportunity to open. And then that lift and that pull is creating even more space for the whole upper body to open. So the supported back bends are amazing. Really good, guys. I'd love to